If your child's term to report card just landed and your stomach dropped a little bit when you saw the marks, then this video is for you. I'm Justine. I've been tutoring students for over 10 years across Sydney, and I've worked with hundreds of families at exactly this moment of the year, report week. And the thing I see happen most often is this. Parents open the report, feel either relieved or anxious, depending on what they saw, and then life moves on. The report card goes back on the counter, nothing changes. And by the time the next assessment comes around, the same patterns happen again. So today I want to give you a completely different way to approach this, because that report is one of the most useful pieces of information that you will get all year if you know how to read it. First thing I want you to do is stop looking at the mark as the be-all and end-all. I know that feels strange because our eyes immediately go to that, but the mark is the outcome. It's not the information. It tells you where your child ended up. It doesn't tell you why they're there or what you could do about it. A C in mathematics could mean so many different things. It could mean that your child understands the content but freezes under exam pressure. It could mean that there was one foundational concept that wasn't grasped a few years ago and that's been shaky for a few years, and anything on top of that becomes unstable. It could also mean that they understood the content clearly in class but never consolidated it independently. 3 completely different reasons which require different solutions. So before you react to the number, read the comments below. New South Wales report cards generally use 3 terms to describe how your child is performing relative to the standard for that age group. Working towards means your child has not yet consistently demonstrated this skill for what is expected at this stage. This is a flag, not a reason to panic, but something to take seriously, especially if it appears across more than one subject. Achieving means your child is meeting the expected standard. This is genuinely good news. It doesn't mean that there's nothing to work on here, but it's not a crisis either. Exceeding means that your child is working above the expected standard for this age level. If you're seeing this alongside a child who is disengaged or bored, this gap is worth paying attention to. A child who is not challenged academically eventually loses the habit of trying hard. But here is the part that most parents skip completely: the written comments. Teachers write these comments carefully. They are working within a school template, writing for dozens of students, choosing their words deliberately. So read these as a message, not as a formality. You might see something along the lines of, would benefit from consolidating key concepts. This almost always means there is a gap and it's been building for a while. Capable student who could push more with consistent effort. This usually points to a confidence issue instead of a capability one. Something is holding this child back from reaching their full potential. Engages well in class, but assessment results don't reflect this. The gap between classroom participation and test performance almost always comes down to one of 2 things: exam anxiety or a technique issue. Both are fixable. Once you have read the report properly, the most important thing that you could do with your child this week is have one real conversation about it. Not about the marks, but how do they feel about the subject? Ask them what they find the hardest right now. Ask them what do they wish they understood better, and let them answer fully before you say anything. In my experience, I've found that parents who have this 5-minute conversation learn so much more from that than they do from their report card. And it changes the entire energy around what comes next. Instead of something being done to your child, you are doing it with them. And here is something I say to every family at this time of the year. The 2 weeks after a school report comes out are the most important 2 weeks of the term. Not because there is a deadline, but because your child is more aware right now than at any other time that something needs to change. That window closes, life gets busy, the discomfort fades, and by the time the next assessment rolls around, nothing has shifted. The families who see the biggest improvements are not the ones who panicked after they saw the report card. They are the ones who used these 2 weeks to get clear on one specific change and then took one step towards that. I've put together a free 10-week learning goal planner specifically for this moment. It gives you and your child a simple way to take what is in that report card and turn it into a real plan with weekly goals, checkpoints, and a way to track what is actually working. Comment 10-week down below and I will send it straight to you. It's also in the description. And if you want to find out more specifically about where your child is at and what they need, we offer a free trial assessment here at Compass. No commitment, no pressure, just an hour to get a clearer picture of where your child is at and what to do next. The link is also in the description. I'll see you in the next one.